Welcome to the Ozarks Sports Report podcast. For today's show, we're going to be covering some breaking news coming out of Kansas City, as well as high school football's Week 3 preview, a preview for Week 1 of college football, as well as we will be covering the scores from last night's minor league baseball games and Major League Baseball games, as well as a preview for Week 4 of the NFL preseason game for the Kansas City Chiefs when they will host the Tennessee Titans. Starting out with some breaking news coming out of Kansas City, as Royals pitcher Danny Duffy was arrested for DUI. Royals general manager Dayton Moore didn't mince words and didn't hide disappointment in discussing the news that left-hander Danny Duffy had been arrested for suspicion of driving under the influence on Sunday night. Duffy was cited for a DUI at a fast food restaurant in the Kansas City suburb of Overland Park. His first court appearance is going to be scheduled for September 19th. On to college football action, on to high school football action for Week 3, kicking off here in the Ozarks. Starting off with the Big 8, where we have McDonald County traveling to take on Seneca. Aurora is going to be hosting Lamar. Cassville travels to East Newton, and Mount Vernon clashes with Monette. COC large action, Branson takes on Carthage. Ozark travels to Carl Junction. Willard travels to Neosho. Republic hosts Webb City. COC small action, Logan Rogersville hosts Hollister. Reed Spring travels to Bolivar. Springfield Catholic travels to Marshfield. In the Mid-Lakes Conference, Fair Grove will travel to take on Pleasant Hope. Skyline takes on Stockton. Marionville will go to war with Stratford. On to the Ozark Conference. Glendale travels to West Plains. Lebanon hosts Camdenton. Parkview will host Rolla. And Hillcrest will host Waynesville. Non-conference action, where we have Nixa traveling to Springfield to take on Central. Buffalo travels to Diamond. Forsyth will travel to Lockwood. All those games will be starting at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. On to college football for our Week 1 preview. Evangel takes on Benedictine for their second week of the season. The Crusaders will continue their season opening road trip with a date against the Ravens. Kickoff is scheduled for Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. from Atchison, Kansas. Missouri Southern takes on Fort Hays State. The Missouri Southern Lions will play host to Fort Hays State tonight to open up the regular season. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 o'clock p.m. at Fred G. Hughes Stadium in Joplin. Southwest Baptist will travel to take on Eastern New Mexico. The Southwest Baptist Bearcats will open the 2017 season when they travel to Portales, New Mexico to take on Eastern New Mexico. Kickoff is scheduled for 8 o'clock p.m. from Greyhound Stadium in Portales, New Mexico tonight. Missouri State takes on Mizzou in Columbia. It's hard to believe, but Missouri and Missouri State will meet for just the second time and the first time since 1923 when Springfield School was known as Southwest Missouri State Teachers College. For most of the Bears staff, Saturday's game will be a homecoming, starting at the top with coaching with head coach Dave Steckel, a Mizzou assistant coach under Gary Pinkel from 2001 to 2014. Most of his staff either played for the Tigers or coached at MU as assistants, including former Mizzou players Jason Ray, Kenji Jackson, and Muner Price. Under Steckel, the Bears are just 5-17, but he inherited a downtrodden program that hasn't been to the football championship subdivision playoffs since 1990. The Bears have lost 31 straight games against teams from the Football Bowl subdivision, including 3 under Steckel, losses to Memphis, Arkansas State, and Kansas State by combined scores of 168-14. Missouri State was more competitive last fall, but still finished with a losing record of 4-7 overall and 2-6 in the Missouri Valley. Kickoff is scheduled for 11 a.m. from Farrow Field in Columbia on Saturday. Arkansas will take on Florida A&M to open the 2017 season. The college football season for the Arkansas Razorbacks kicks off in an unusual fashion, taking on the Florida A&M Rattlers, a football subdivision program, at their home away from home at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock on Thursday night instead of a traditional Saturday game at Reynolds Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville. The contest should be a dress rehearsal of sorts for the Hogs as they seek to work out the kinks of their new 3-4 defense, but take the field against a team that has already notched a win to their season. The Rattlers put their 4-7 season 2016 behind them, kicking off the new campaign with a 29-7 win over Texas Southern in Tallahassee, Florida. Florida A&M used a stifling run defense, limiting the Tigers to 202 total yards on offense, with just 62 of those coming on the ground. On offense, the Rattlers were balanced rushing for 193 yards, while passing for another 221. Kickoff is scheduled for 8 p.m. tonight, again from War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock, Arkansas. On to minor league baseball. Cahill steals the show in the Travs win over the Cardinals. Arkansas left-handed pitcher Lindsey Caffel dealt a complete game shutout to lead the Travelers over the Cardinals in front of 2,722 fans at Hammons Field on Wednesday night. After a leadoff base hit by center fielder Oscar Mercado, subsequently caught stealing in the bottom of the first inning, Zach Gallen matched Caffel to start, retiring his first 11 batters in a row after 5 scoreless innings from Gallen. The Travs then broke through in the top of the 6th with a solo home run by center fielder Willie Argo for the 1-0 lead. Arkansas then padded the lead in the top of the 7th. Ryan Castile led off with a single followed by a double from catcher Tyler Marlette to put runners at second and third with no outs. Rowan Wick took over on the mound for the Cardinals, but third baseman Seth Mejias Breen grounded a 2-run single, plating both runners. Caffel continued to keep the Cardinals in check with scoreless work through the 9th inning as the Travelers defeated the Cardinals 3-0. Lindsey Caffel took the win for Arkansas while Zach Gallen took the loss for the Cardinals. The Travelers improved to 62-73 while the Cardinals fall to 75-60. Now we move down to Tulsa, where Northwest Arkansas gets crushed by Tulsa as Galen gets 4 hits. Blake Galen, Yusenel Diaz, Matt Beatty, and Drew Jackson recorded 3 hits each as Tulsa defeated Northwest Arkansas 16-0 on Wednesday. Galen singled 4 times, driving home 2 runs. Diaz homered and singled twice, driving home 4 runs and scoring 3. Tulsa scored in 6 different innings in the victory, including the second when they put up 5 runs, including a 2-run single by Diaz. Mitchell White picked up the win after allowing 2 hits over 5 scoreless innings for Tulsa. Corey Ray took the loss in the Texas League game after giving up 7 runs and 7 hits over 1 1/3 innings of work for Northwest Arkansas. Tulsa improves to 74-61 while Northwest Arkansas falls to 65-70. On to Major League Baseball action. FAM's 2-home run day comes up short for the Cardinals against the Brewers. Domingo Santana hit a tie-breaking home run in the 6th inning. Jonathan Villar added a 2-run shot of insurance 2 batters later, and Keon Broxton made a game-saving catch to end a 6-5 Brewers win over St. Louis for a split of the 2 teams' 2-game series at Miller Park. Broxton's leaping catch at the wall in right center appeared to rob a go-ahead home run from Randall Grichuk, who'd already hit a game-tying solo shot back in the 5th. It sealed save number 30 for Corey Kniebel and a win for Chase Anderson in his first start at home in more than 2 months. The Brewers temporarily climbed to within 3 games of the National League Central leading Chicago Cubs. The Cardinals fell 5.5 games out of first despite Tommy Pham's 2-homer night. The Brewers improved to 69-64 on the season while the Cardinals fall to 66-66. Chase Anderson took the win for Milwaukee while Carlos Martinez got the loss for St. Louis and Corey Kniebel got the save for the Brew Crew. The Brewers currently stand in 2nd place at 3 games behind the Chicago Cubs, while the Cardinals currently stand in 3rd place at 5.5 games behind the Cubs in the NL Central. The Brewers will welcome the National League East leading Washington Nationals to Miller Park with first pitch tonight at 7:10 p.m. The Cardinals will continue their 10-game road trip to the Bay Area to take on the struggling San Francisco Giants with first pitch from AT&T Park at 9:15 p.m. tonight. The starters for tonight will be Michael Wacha for the St. Louis Cardinals going up against Madison Bumgarner for the San Francisco Giants. On to Kauffman Stadium, where Kansas City drops 2 from the Rays at Kauffman. Just when the Rays needed it, they relied on 2 of their biggest bats in their lineup, Steven Souza Jr. and Logan Morrison, to deliver the home runs in the 5th inning that propelled them to a 5-3 win over the Royals on Wednesday night. The Rays pulled within 3 games of the Twins for the second wildcard spot after the Twins defeated the Chicago White Sox 11-1 at Target Field in Minneapolis on Wednesday night. The Royals, who have lost 6 of their last 7, dropped 3.5 behind the Twins. Tampa Bay's bullpen delivered 4 scoreless innings, including 2 from Steve Cishek, and Alex Colomé picked up his 40th save on the season. Rays right-hander Jake Odorizzi, a former Royal, gave his team 5 serviceable innings, giving up 4 hits and 3 runs while walking 3 and striking out 3. Royals left-hander Jason Vargas continued his struggles, giving up 5 runs, including 3 home runs over 6 innings of work. His ERA currently stands at 3.87. After the Royals tied the game at 3, Tampa Bay answered in the 5th when Souza jumped on a first-pitch curve from Vargas and hammered it down the left field line for his 29th home run of the season. Whit Merrifield, who snapped the Royals' scoreless inning streak on Tuesday night, was back at it in the finale with the Rays stole a base and hit a 3-run shot for his 17th home run of the season. Jake Odorizzi gets the win for the Tampa Bay, while Jason Vargas takes the loss for the Royals. Alex Colomé got the save for the Rays. The Rays improved to 67-68, while the Royals fall to 65-67. The Rays currently stand in 4th place in the AL East at 10 games behind the Red Sox. The Royals currently stand in 3rd place of the AL Central at 11 games behind the Cleveland Indians. Both the Royals and the Rays will have an off day today before the Royals hit the road to take on the Minnesota Twins at Target Field, while the Rays will head to Chicago to take on the White Sox. Both games will start at 7:10 p.m. on Friday night. On to NFL action. The Chiefs will take on the Titans to close out the preseason. The Kansas City Chiefs will wrap up the preseason when they take on the Tennessee Titans before kicking off the regular season next week at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Kickoff is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. tonight at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. We've got some other news to tell you about, as we've just heard that St. Louis Cardinals pitcher Mike Leake has been traded to the Seattle Mariners for a minor league prospect. Mike Leake, who was 7-10 overall this year, was kind of having an up and down season for the Cardinals, and Mozeliak had traded Mike Leake to the Mariners for a minor league prospect. That's going to wrap up our show for today. We hope that you enjoyed our show, and we hope you guys tune in for the next show, which we will be talking about the scores from Week 3 of high school football, as well as talking about the scores from Week 1 of college football, as well as we'll be looking back at the scores from minor league baseball and Major League Baseball, as well as the score from the Chiefs' preseason game against the Tennessee Titans. So for now, we want to say thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you guys in the next one. Have a good day, everybody.